Yeah, it's just audio issues, you know. You gotta love them. So who's doing the intro this time,
Gotta.
girly?
You are.
I am.
I have no brain right now.
Oh my gosh. Hey guys, welcome back to the TransSafe podcast. I'm Chloe, that's Sarah over there, and we are in VR.
Hi.
Hopefully you can't hear my roommate, because she's being really loud on the phone. She like yells into her phone. It's
Nope, I can't hear anything but you.
okay, awesome. So how's your week been, Sarah?
Well, I was in Chicago last week,
I know.
and it was. And I just flew in from Chicago, and boy, are my arms tired.
Oh my gosh.
It was very exhausting. Just a lot of standing around, but good food. Good food.
That's
But it's good to
good.
be back. This week has been kind of meh. Mostly just recovering from the trip.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Done anything
How
fun
about
this
you?
week?
Oh,
I'm not done with you.
I got laid last night, but we don't need to talk about that.
Oh my gosh. I have to cut that out. Uh,
Do you?
yes, we don't need to talk about our sexual escapades. Or do we? I
Hey,
don't know.
you asked.
Well, you know, you went to a bar. You could have talked about that, you dork.
That was 3 weeks ago, dingus.
You just went to a club like the other day with a sandwich.
That was more than 3 weeks ago. Oh, you mean that? Well, okay.
That was
That was
literally
more of
like a day
a
ago.
restaurant than a club bar.
Jeez, I can't
I don't
stand
know.
you. But my week's been boring as hell. I've been done literally nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, last week I did the podcast with Vance, but that's about it. Um, yeah, literally nothing
They're
interesting has happened.
fantastic.
Friends cancel plans again. We're
Again.
vibing. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. Sorry that keeps happening.
Yeah, it's whatever. I'm over it now. They can try to work around my schedule though. That's itchy twitchy. I do need to. You guys are gonna hear some beeps and boops while I try to find a WikiHow article that I found that we could talk about. Jesus, I can't English today.
A WikiHow article, you say?
Yes, we are stealing content from the transgender pod, to fill our episodes. So this WikiHow is called Trying to Figure Out If Your Date is Trans. Here's what you should consider.
Oh my god. This is a how-to guide to be a transvestigator?
Yes and no? I don't know. We'll get into it. So it has multiple parts, and then there's different sections in each part. Well, let me accept these cookies because I love cookies. So part 1 is called Being Open-Minded and Considerate. You get no cookies. And the first thing that they talk about is examine your own bias.
Okay.
And it goes in further. If you're wondering
how to tell if your date is trans. Stop caring.
It goes into if you're wondering if your date is trans, you might be harboring some negative stereotypes in your mind that are not based in reality. I love this article already.
Oh my god. This is just based article.
But I wanted to go over this with you because you have been on multiple dates as a trans girly. I have not. I have not gone on any dates since coming out.
Yeah.
So as we go, if you would like to give us some insider insights, that would be great.
I mean, yeah, sure.
And then part 2, be aware, or the second thing in part 2, or in part 1, sorry, is be aware that there are no clear-cut physical signs that you can rely on. Which is
Literally,
honestly
yeah,
really
that's correct.
true, yeah. Because some trans women just pass ridiculously well.
See the Olympics and the gold medalist for, was it boxing?
Mm-hmm.
That was transvestigated super hard and is a cis woman.
Yeah, exactly. Which is still ridiculous, but it is not a good thing. Their testosterone
To all the
levels are a
people who
little bit
think that you can
higher.
always tell,
You can't. You can never tell.
you can't. There's way more trans girls that you've noticed, than you've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
We're everywhere.
Exactly.
We're in the deep state.
Mm-hmm. Number 3, avoid asking your date if they are transgender. This is just common courtesy.
God. Yeah.
You'll likely offend them either way. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're right, then you just clocked somebody, and the first rule of clocking somebody is no, you the fuck you didn't. If you think you see a trans person in public, or if you think somebody's trans, just keep it to yourself.
Exactly.
You don't need to say that.
The
Especially
person,
not to them.
Yeah, the person knows that they're trans. They don't need you to constantly remind them. Yeah. They don't need you to remind them and make them feel bad about who they are. Be better.
Oh, I have a story for you. I don't know if I've told you this story before.
Probably.
This is really early. This is super early in my bitch.
What?
Don't even.
We talk
I know
a
I repeat
lot.
stories. I have goldfish memory.
We do. You do repeat stories quite often.
I can't remember things. Okay. This is super early in my transition, maybe a month or 2 in. I was at a Best Buy, and I was waiting for the tech person to come back to talk to them. And I was presenting Femme, and this buff, Samoan guy, sort of shuffles up to me, stares at me for 2 or 3 seconds, and sort of awkwardly was like, "Hey, excuse me." And I look over, I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Are you trans?"
Oh
And
my
I
god.
deer in the headlights was just immediately I did not know how to react. So it was the first time somebody had ever said that to me directly. And me not knowing how to react, I just sort of reflexively went, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, that's so cool. My son, well, I mean, my daughter is trans."
Yeah, thanks for just outing me to everybody in this Best Buy.
Right. And then he was just kind of nice, but it was so awkward and so his heart was in the right place, but bestie, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. His daughter probably had a really long conversation
to correct him and be like, "Hey, maybe don't do that."
Yeah.
Oh,
Number 4, stop worrying and relax. There are many other things to worry about that actually warrant concern, such as protecting yourself against STDs. If your date is trans, wait for them to tell you. If everything has gone well up to this point, cross that bridge when you get there. That's a very good point. Which I think we were actually really talking about this earlier, actually.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I do disagree a little bit. When you date a trans girl, you should be worried because some of us bite.
Oh my god, Sarah. I thought it was going to be something serious. I bite 100%, but not every trans girl bites. That's just a stereotype.
I don't bite hard.
Sarah, we are not. No, we have to keep the professional. We talked about this. Number 5, keep an open mind. There are many happy endings that begin with a date where one person didn't know the other person was trans. Yeah, just keep an open mind. You never know if you're gonna enjoy the person more than just their physical being, so always be open to new experiences.
Yeah, I've definitely dealt with a few chasers before.
Yeah, those are not fun. Chasers aren't as validating as they think they are. They fetishize trans people, and it's not good. I've
Like,
also,
it's
as
sorry.
as a streamer, I get a lot of chasers that follow me on Twitch and interact with me kind of frequently. And I can tell which ones are chasing and which ones actually kind of dig me, but we can tell. Just stop it.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Whenever I talk to people like romantically or like in a dating scene,
Mm-hmm.
I am extremely upfront about being trans and like my anatomy and everything. And I grill especially like cishet guys pretty thoroughly about like how much they know about trans people and like what their experience level is.
Mm-hmm.
And like sometimes I'm okay educating people on some things. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm not going to keep talking to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I do a lot of like vetting before I ever like get to even having a conversation with somebody,
Right.
which is exhausting and definitely like cuts the dating pool a lot, which is
Yeah.
fine because I get flooded with messages often
Mm-hmm.
from guys. So yeah, I vet very like harshly.
Yeah, see, I don't have this issue because I have yet to go on a date since coming out as trans. But it's kind of sad, and I would really like to go on a date with somebody. But, oh well, it is
I
what it is.
mean, I have tips.
Eh, it'll happen when it happens. Now we're into the second part, respecting their privacy. And the first section is realize that they're not trying to trick you. Trans people transition so that way they can be their authentic selves, and it has nothing to do with you. Which is very true. Yeah, point at the camera.
Absolutely, we agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just trying to be who we feel on the inside. Um, it has nothing to do with
Mhm.
you, so don't take it personally at all. That's pretty much it for that. Yeah. Unless we
I
have
mean,
words of
yeah,
wisdom.
yeah. I mean, I've definitely gone off on people like about there's a sort of like an older internet trend of like I don't want to repeat the word, but there's a trend of like not being sure if somebody's a trans, specifically a trans woman is the most common issue, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a term that's often used online for that,
Yeah.
you know, and like that's a really common like thinking process, especially for cis het men.
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
sure you're familiar with this, but maybe some of our viewers aren't. The trans panic laws that still exist in some states.
Oh yeah. Mm.
Yeah, where in some states it's literally legal to assault somebody because you didn't know they were trans and it
Mm-hmm.
upset you.
Yeah. That's so dumb. Then my work wonders why I don't want to go
Yeah, cool.
outside, and because at night we have to do trash inside and outside. It's pitch black outside because I work nights. And they often have me go out and do the trash outside when we have other people that can do it. I'm like, I don't feel safe, first of all. So why? Hmm. Oh
Yeah,
well. I just need to talk to my HR person and be like, hey, here's a list of how many people get assaulted as like being trans and specifically for being trans and the environments that they were in. And you're putting me in that environment on the clock. Can you just like not do that, please? That'd be great.
yeah,
Because there's a lot of homeless people and people in RVs specifically that camp out in our parking lots. It's not safe at all. Which is why they don't want the
right.
cis woman that is on our maintenance team to not do it because they want her to be safe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really common macroaggression.
Just a little bit.
Guess.
Yeah. Like, we won't have the cis woman do it, but we'll have the trans woman do it because reasons.
The trans woman who is statistically more likely to be assaulted.
Yeah, especially since I'm a
woman
person of color also. Like, I'm a trans POC. Like, I'm statistically higher to get murdered.
Yeah.
But no, I'll probably just talk to them and be like, hey, can we do outside trash like during the day? Because it's not safe for anybody to be outside, let alone a trans person of color.
Right.
I work at Walmart. Blow up their socials.
Yeah. Name and shame. Name and shame.
Yes, exactly.
We're not hashtag not sponsored.
Not sponsored by Walmart. Never will be.
We're sponsored by anybody.
Have you heard about a recent sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends?
No, not even as a joke. No. No.
I'm kidding. It's honestly a fun game.
We are not and will never be sponsored by them.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind being sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends because it's really a fun...
You can be sponsored by Raid. We will never be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
It's a fun game. What can I say? We're actually not sponsored, but it is a fun game.
We will take a sponsorship for Raid Shadow Legends when I am in the grave.
No, I want to get sponsored by oh gosh, what is Clutch Beauty? I think that's what they're called. They do IPL and things like that. They have a bunch of IPL devices.
Okay.
A lot of trans creators on YouTube get sponsored by them. I think it would be really cool. Like, I don't even want product, but I know that their products are really good because I've tried their product. And I used to have one before I switched to a U-like because it was cheaper at the time. Anyways, next thing. Know the difference between sexual orientation and gender identity. Gender identity refers to your sense of identity as a man or woman, or as someone outside of the gender binary. Sexuality refers to your physical, emotional, and romantic attraction to a specific gender or multiple genders. And people conflate the two quite often. It's very annoying. Yeah. Ugh, I don't like it.
Look, I'm not gay because I'm trans. I am gay, but not because I'm trans.
Exactly.
Also, and I'm going to look directly into the camera for this one. If you are a man and you want to date a trans woman, you are still straight. That is a straight relationship.
Exactly.
You're not gay. I mean, unless you are, but that's not because you're dating a trans woman. So sort out your own gender fuckery before you mess with trans women, okay? We're not experiments, we're people.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm getting off my soapbox now.
But yes, a more calm rendition of that. If you're a woman and you date a trans woman, that is a lesbian relationship. I know that there's a lot of TERFs in the world that just don't like trans women, and I'm not saying that's okay, but you're allowed to have your preferences. If you don't want to date a trans woman, that's perfectly valid. But if you're also a man and you date a trans woman, that is perfectly straight. And that is okay.
It's fine to have a genital preference. It's not cool to, like, invalidate somebody's gender identity because you have a genital preference.
Exactly.
Does or does not align with their body.
Yeah, which is why I'm having issues at the moment with dating, because a lot of women on dating like apps and websites, they really like just cisgendered women, but they won't come out and say it.
Same.
Which sucks.
No, same. I get very little attention from girls for that reason.
Yeah. Number 3, understand why a trans person might be afraid to share this information with you. Trans people often face ostracism, bullying, abuse, and even violence. It can be hard to tell a safe person from a dangerous one for a trans person, which is very true, as we just discussed previously.
I've luckily never been attacked or assaulted in that way. But
That's
again,
good.
as previously mentioned, I'm extremely careful to not put myself in situations where I could be.
Yeah. Sadly, I did work for a company that was extremely transphobic. Home Depot, if you guys didn't know. They finally concluded their investigation. A couple of higher up managers got terminated or moved to a different location closer to headquarters, which is in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, that was interesting.
Oh, so there was something that came with that. I don't remember you telling me this.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, but goldfish brain for you.
Oh, yeah. I thought
Yeah.
nothing happened. I thought it was just like they found nothing wrong.
No, they did. They concluded
Oh,
that, yeah, since the only 3 people that have ever been terminated were specifically trans women, that something was afoot. Yeah.
I try to offer you your job back.
No. Not at all.
See, well, there you go. No
Yeah.
compensation of any kind.
Well, I mean, Home Depot's a very Republican company, even though they tout themselves as being very like inclusionary. Yeah, a lot of trans people across the Home Depot network have had similar instances where, like, once they come out in the company, they start having a paper trail of incidences and things that eventually lead to termination or more severe punishments and things like that. Which is what happened to me and the other 2 trans women that work there.
Huh?
Yeah, it was not fun. Yeah, fuck Home Depot.
I will be shopping exclusively at Lowe's for my hardware needs.
Oh my gosh, no, I wouldn't shop at Lowe's either.
This is not an official endorsement of Lowe's.
No, shop locally
I'm
for
sure
your
Lowe's
lumber.
does shady things too.
Shop locally for lumber and then Harbor Freight for tools, because Harbor Freight tools are the best. Number 4,
What if I need that really specific light bulb?
That sounds like a you problem. Just go to Walmart. Because I thankfully haven't had any issues besides the going and getting trash at night thing. I haven't had any issues with anybody. And honestly, everybody at work doesn't even, like, not a lot of people know that I'm trans. The only person that knows is management. Everybody thinks that I'm a cis woman, which is really validating. So whenever I talk about trans things, like, whenever I got laser, I had a couple of people be like, "What's wrong with your face?" I'm like, "Oh, I got laser," and they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Cause facial hair. Cause whenever I shave really close, and you can barely tell because it's nighttime." And they were like, "You have facial hair?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do. I'm trans." And they're like, "What?" They don't care, but most night shift workers really don't give a shit about anything. They're really inclusionary.
See, I keep telling you, you're cute.
Shut up. 4, let them tell you on their own time. If the relationship is going to progress, you will find out. But yeah, definitely wait for the potential trans person to come out to you. Who knows? They might not even be trans at all. They could be a cis woman that has very masculine features, like we discussed earlier. You just never know.
And
so don't assume.
I'm gonna bring up something that I was talking to you about earlier. Is nobody ever owes you anything. A trans person does not owe you an explanation. At least I don't feel they do. So, like, I don't think it's always necessarily your business.
Exactly.
Like, they wouldn't have to tell you necessarily about, like, some kind of, medical disorder they had as a kid that's since been corrected. Unless there's like an anatomy thing that needs to be disclosed, I don't think they ever do owe you an explanation, even if they are trans.
Exactly. Like, when it comes to the anatomy thing, we have a few options for performing acts, so I guess that's not something that really needs to be worried about. And sex isn't the only thing that makes a relationship anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Next part. Number 5. Figure out how you feel. Dating a trans person isn't always a sign that anything is different about you. For example, if you consider yourself a lesbian and you date a trans woman, you're still a lesbian. A trans person's gender is the one in their brain, and that's what counts when you consider your orientation. Yeah, we literally just discussed went over that. Yeah. So I'm honestly liking this article. I know from the Transgender Pod they tend to find a lot of articles that are written by non-trans affirming people.
Right, they find bad ones and then discuss why they're bad.
Exactly. I think they just do it for the bit, which is honestly really funny, and I love those episodes that they do.
It is fantastic.
I'm currently drinking water, sorry guys. I'm not cutting that out, it's staying in. You guys get to listen to me be human for a second.
You're human?
No, I'm a creature, as you can see. A very cute one.
Yeah,
Which is this is new.
Goober.
This is new also. Audio listeners, love you to death, but I am in a what's called a Nova Beast avatar.
That's my line.
I know, but I'm in a Nova Beast avatar, and this is a custom one that I just got done, and it has my IRL tattoos on it.
I noticed that. I was gonna say something, but I didn't want to out the fact that those are your actual tattoos. I was like, holy shit, it has your tattoo on your wrist.
Yeah, and it also has a massive tail, which I find adorable.
Oh, I thought you were about to say massive tits.
I mean,
which it also does have that.
Yes. It's very cheerleader-esque. Like, if I could, like, if there was a way to make my body just be the way that I want it to be, it would be a similar physique to this. I think it looks really cute. I always wanted to be a cheerleader. I always thought that they were really...
So, enormous bonga-hongalubas and a very skinny waist.
Exactly. Cute face. Cute face, pretty waist,
like a capital P.
Anyways. Okay, there are some expert Q&As. Do we want to get into those?
Okay.
So somebody...
Is this like where other users have like added on?
Yeah, they ask a question, then a professional answers the question.
Okay.
So one question is, this is gonna get a little not too graphic. It talks about genitalia with this one. Can transgender men have a penis? A professional answered, yes, a transgender man can obtain a penis by a phalloplasty and gosh, that's a big word. Metoidoplasty.
Yeah, metoidoplasty.
I'm not.
I know what both of those are.
Nice. I'm not certain with trans mask surgeries and procedures and things like that. I'm still learning, mainly because of Ben. I want to be
what the
as
results
inclusive
look like
as possible.
for both of those. I don't know the exact like medical definitions of both.
Right. Phalloplasty consists of taking... Okay, we're not going to get extremely... Oh, wow, that's actually really interesting. But yes, trans men can have a penis through various surgeries, just like trans women can end up with a vaginal area through various surgeries. You also don't have to be validated in your gender. Like, for me, it's... I want to have a vagina...
A vagina? Yeah.
I want to have SRS, but it's not the biggest issue for me. For me, it's definitely losing more muscle mass, and then also maybe some FFS to make my features look a little bit more feminine than they currently are. Other than that, maybe like body sculpting to make my waist look a little bit like smaller would be really nice. But honestly, I'm getting more comfortable in my body, which is really nice.
Yeah. I had a whole conversation with you and another friend of mine about how like I'm getting to be like very comfortable in my identity to the point where like I'm starting to realize that I'm actually a lot more butch than I thought I was. Like I definitely am like realizing that I'm not nearly as like femme.
No, you don't dress femme.
I was definitely overcompensating a little bit.
You dress butch for sure. which is
No,
very
I dress femme.
attractive.
It's just like alts. Well,
Uh,
sometimes I do dress butch. Like there was that one time I wore a flannel.
that is true, yeah.
But like my typical dress, unless I'm just like running to the gas station or something, is like dresses
Mm-hmm.
with boots. But we don't talk about
Yeah.
that.
I did try on a dress and showed you, and you said that I looked really cute, and I actually liked how it fit on me, which was really nice.
Yes, you
This
looked amazing.
was the first time I ever like wore
I've
a
never seen you in
dress.
jeans.
I like wearing jeans. It looks like that I'm like poured into them because
Yeah.
curves. You call
Yeah.
them my mom jeans, which I find
Yeah.
hilarious.
They give you Pixar mom ass.
Yeah, which is why I wear them because it looks really nice. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the downside
Yeah,
of that
I wear
is,
dresses and skirts at every opportunity.
yeah, the downside of that is if I don't tuck, then I tend to wear like a jacket around my waist. So that way it covers my front bits. Um, yeah. Next question. This one's more of a controversial question.
Oh, okay.
So, person states, my girlfriend claims that she is a girl and that she always has been, yet so many people call her trans, and her hair is the kind of hair that a transgender person would have. What should I think?
What?
Like what? Like
What does that mean?
I know that
Like, is it blue? Or does like she have a receding hairline? What does that mean?
right? Like a lot of women have receding hairlines. I can't think of an example, but
Like
there are a lot of
I have
women.
a natural widow's peak, but
Same.
I have always had a natural widow's peak since like I was a small child. It's just
Hmm.
my hairline looks like that.
I know that a lot of trans women tend to like pull back one side and then like have it floof off to another, kind of like my avatar here. It just kind of goes off to one side. So maybe that's
Because
what they're
over one
talking
eye
about.
is very feminine.
Yeah, but maybe that's what they're talking about.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. They didn't go into much detail. But the person that responded is, first of all, there's no such thing as a transgender type of hair.
Right.
Hairstyles, hairstyles don't have anything to do with somebody's gender identity. If you're worried, then you should just ask her about it. If she says she has always been a girl, then you should trust her and drop the subject. If she is trans, then you'll have to decide whether you're comfortable or not continuing the relationship. Like I feel like that's a red flag automatically. Um, Woman or lady, if you're listening to this after having read that, leave that guy. Yeah, or girl. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, that
Hmm.
person.
Yeah, that person
That entity?
does not deserve your love and affection. Right. So, as somebody that is on the dating scene, after what we've talked about today, do you have any other points that you would like to make to just the general public? Like whether it's on
Um,
this side or the trans person side. I'm putting you on the
so
spot.
for my fellow trans people, yeah, especially for trans girls, be careful. Be really careful,
Mm-hmm.
especially with cis men. Um, Something that I think might not be immediately evident to a lot of trans girls is if you've been on estrogen for a while, or at least if you've had T blockers for a while, you are not as strong as he is.
No, not at all.
Just straight up.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot overpower him. And if you are in a dangerous situation, you need to be as careful as a cis woman needs to be.
Exactly. Like we've talked about, like my own experience with muscle degradation. I'm definitely not as strong as I used to be like a year and a half ago. I definitely could not win in a fight against a cis man at all. I look like I could, but I definitely cannot. So yeah, be careful. Um, know your exits if you're in a public place. If you're, hopefully you're not going over to their house on like the first few dates. But if you're going over,
Oh God, no! Always meet somebody in. Okay, yeah. This is not really a trans issue. This is just like a freaking dating thing for
yeah,
anyone.
exactly.
Always meet the person in a public location during the daytime first.
And know the exits.
and know how to get out and like have your own transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have verified that this person is not obviously a psychopath, do what you want, but always make sure somebody knows where you are and have some like. Typically, what I'll do is I'll message a friend that's within driving distance of me, and I will tell them where I'm going. I'll send them a picture of the person I'm going with, and I'll say if I don't call by X time, call the fucking police.
Exactly.
But then actually make sure you follow through and call the friend. Because what you don't want to do is accidentally ghost your friend and they call the police.
Exactly.
But like, just practice safety measures. Like, just take care of yourselves.
Exactly.
You know, everyone. And this really is just a typical dating advice. If you're gonna summon a stranger from the internet to be intimate with, or even just to hang out with, be safe. Like, be smart about it, right?
Exactly. Also, if you're going to a bar, never leave your drink unattended. That's just a general dating tip. And then also,
just
talk to your waiter or waitress and ask them, or the bartender, ask them what procedures they have in place. Because a lot of bars will have like angel shots. If you order an angel shot, they will escort you to a safe place in the bar to get away from your date. That's not the same across every bar. So just ask the bar beforehand, like, hey, if this date goes bad, what should I do? And they'll usually have some safety measure in place. Usually a big scary guy that will look after you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am lucky. I've never been in a situation where I needed to do something like that. Because I very carefully vet people, as I said.
That's good. I've only had to do that once for somebody because I was a bartender for a short period of time. They ordered an angel shot, and I was big scary dude at the time. And I just went over there and was like, hey, I noticed that your car has a flat tire. Do you mind coming out and then I'll change the tire for you? And then we just walked I walked her to her car. And that was that. And then she never came back, and the dude was like, where's my date? You took her out to the thing. And I was like, you need to leave. Pay your bill first, but you need to leave. And then we banned him from the establishment, and it was a chain, so we sent his picture to all the other chains in the area.
Ooh, more general advice from Sarah. Saying no is for free. It costs
really
you $0 to tell somebody no. Saying no to somebody is free 99, baby.
Exactly.
So please make use of saying no. Tell people no.
Yes.
And say it with your whole chest. I have gone along with things that I didn't really want to do in the past with people.
Yeah.
And it's not good for you. Don't do that. Have boundaries. Articulate those boundaries clearly and stick to those boundaries.
Exactly.
And enforce consequences when they're crossed.
Yes.
Advocate for yourselves.
Yeah. Whether that's calling a friend to come pick you up, leaving entirely, ghosting the guy, or calling the police.
Yeah.
The police are there to help you. Even if you're trans, they will do their best to help you. They might not see you as a woman because...
Especially if you're feminine presenting.
Yeah. They might not see you as a woman because they're cops, but they will protect you because you're a person, and that's typically what they do. But generally, cops are... They attempt. They attempt. Anything else we should discuss before we get into the nitty-gritty of more businessy matters?
I had a thought and it left.
Oh, I love when that happens.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. In my situation, I often have people coming to my home when I'm like with people, and that's dangerous. And I have a lot of precautions that I take. Like, I won't do that the first time I meet somebody. Like, I have to kind of know somebody a little bit before I like suggest that. It's like it just kind of goes back to always meet in public first.
Exactly.
Make sure you definitely have at least a friend or two that's like close by if you can, that knows where you live, that can check on you if you're quiet for too long.
Make sure they know what
Like
you're
if
wearing
I stop
also.
responding to people for a week, somebody will show up to my apartment and make sure I'm not dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Anything else, Sarah?
No, I think I've exhausted my list of passionately offered advice.
Awesome. If you guys want to talk more about this, definitely join the Discord. It'll be linked down below with our link tree. But let's get into more businessy matters. So I know that our format hasn't been the best recently. We've been kind of all over the place, especially with like naming our episodes, things like that. So we are going to be switching to a more structured podcast. We're going to go back to writing scripts like we did at the beginning of the entire podcast, and following some sort of format. We're also going to be doing a bit of rebranding, because trying to say trans safe space, especially when you have a speech impediment of some sort. I know Sarah has issues saying trans safe space.
I stumble over my words when I say a lot of S sounds in a row. They start to turn into an SH sound.
Yes. So we will be, within the next week or two, switching over to a new name. We won't announce it yet, but we are currently working on artwork, finding music to sort of do the intro bit, or at the beginning of the episode.
We're also going to be professional podcasters, Chloe.
I know, it's going to be great. And then we're also going to be, oh gosh, I had a thought. It's gone. Oh no. Oh yeah, we're going to be switching to only video format. So even whenever we're not in VR chat, like we are now, we're going to be doing video versions of all of our podcasts. So that way we can just share it automatically everywhere that we can. Make clips for TikTok, things like that, make discoverability a lot better. Because we have quite a few followers on TikTok. We have about 700 or so right now, which is insane.
Wait, we have a TikTok?
Yes, I've told you this. I post clips of our VR chat episodes on there.
Oh shit.
I do a lot of behind the scenes work that you just don't know about. We also have a Twitter. We have an Instagram. I don't use it, but we could. We're also going to start hosting more community events. So if you join the Discord and you have VR, we're going to be hosting events in this world specifically, for everybody. So be on the lookout for those. We also have fishing. We have become a cozy game server. So there's a fishing channel. So if you guys want to play fish, go down there, try to beat Master and Nano, because they currently they play it literally all day, every day. It's ridiculous. But yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of changes, and hopefully you guys are reciprocator. Hopefully you guys enjoy the changes. I can't speak today, apparently. Big words escape my brain today. Also progesterone's kicking in, I'm noticing. That's a thing. My brain's kind of foggy. Yeah, that's about it. Anything from you, Sarah, before we close out today?
You covered everything.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining. I've been Chloe. That's been Sarah over there. If you guys want to talk to us on the Discord, join the link down below. Check out our Twitter. We mainly just post like when our episodes are live on Twitter, just to notify people. But yeah, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.